Hey everyone, today I'll be showing you how to find the explicit formula for a quadratic sequence by using simultaneous equations. Now, why are we using simultaneous equations? Because I would like to argue that sequences are pretty much the y-coordinates of a line or a curve that has been graphed. For example, we can use the explicit formula for the sequence and replace a of n, so the value of each term, by the y-coordinates, and n, the term number, by x, in order to graph a line that represents this sequence. The same thing is true for a geometric sequence and, of course, a quadratic sequence. Thus, we can treat the sequence as if it's a list of the y-coordinates of a graph, the term numbers as if they're the x-coordinates of that graph, and finally, we can treat the explicit formula, which is composed of both of these, as if it is the equation of the parabola. So let's begin by forming three equations in standard form using three terms in our sequence. Now let's simplify them by solving the indices. Okay, so now from these three initial equations, I'm going to pick a pair, and I'm going to subtract them in a way that I can eliminate c, so one of our variables can be eliminated. Now let's form another equation where c is not present, so I'm going to find a separate pair of equations, always subtracting by that same one equation that I've subtracted before, and then we will end up with an equation that does not have c. Now take both of these new equations that you just made and subtract them off each other in a way that you can eliminate another variable. In this case, I'm just going to eliminate b. So in order to do this, I had to first multiply one of the equations by -1. This way I ended up with a plus 1b, and then when I subtracted 1b from it, then I was easily eliminating it. So in this way, we have derived a valid equation that only has one variable, which is a. So if we solve for a, we can find what the value of a is. Now remember those two equations that we also derived that only had two variables in them? Now we know one of those variables, so let's plug that in. And then we will simplify and find out what b is. Now I'm going to repeat this procedure, but the only variable that I have to find is c, and the only equations that have c are one of those initial three equations that had three terms plugged into them. So I'll just take one of those equations, now replace a and b with their corresponding value, and let's find out what c is. The final step is to take all these three variables and arrange them into a standard explicit formula for this quadratic sequence, and there you go. Thank you for watching. Today we looked at how to use simultaneous equations to find the equation or the explicit formula for the sequence. See you in the next video.